Good morning, first graders. We're going to work on some listening comprehension this morning. I'm going to read a story called How Bat Learned to Fly. After the story, I'll discuss vocab words and I'll give you some listening comprehension questions to discuss with your parents. Long, long ago, when all animals were friends, there was a special group of friends who did everything together. They roamed through the forest, gathering food. They swam and fished in a sparkling lake. They slept under the night sky. But most of all, they loved to play games together. One misty morning, when it was too early to swim or fish, the animals invented a new game. It started when Bear had an itch. As Bear rubbed his back against the tree, Raccoon noticed the green leaves that fell. He gathered the leaves and made a ball. As Raccoon made the ball, Mouse, Coyote, Bear, and Possum worked on the rules of the game. Soon they invented football. Now, the way the animals tell the story, each mouse had a ball and started to run. It fell out of his hands. Coyote scolded, "Why do you drop the ball when you run?" "It's not his fault," said Possum. "He has little hands." "He should not hold it under his arm like me," said Raccoon. "He should hold it against his chest like me," said Bear. Mouse knew his friends were trying to help, but he also knew that Possum was right. The other animals were bigger and had larger hands. They could hold the ball any way they wanted when they ran, but Mouse's hands were too small. Mouse felt awful. He didn't want to ruin the game, so he went off and sat under a tree. Mouse promised himself he would never play football again. He felt sorry for himself. He would miss playing with his friends. As Mouse sat under the tree, sniffling, he heard a gentle voice whisper, "Don't cry, Mouse. I know that one day you will be a good football player." Mouse wiped his eyes and looked up. He saw a woman with her hair as dark as newly turned soil and grown sparkling like a spring rain. It was Mother Earth. Mother Earth spoke like a summer breeze. "Next time you play," she whispered, "jump up and wrap yourself around the ball. Hold on to it with your whole body." Mouse thought about this. "I am a good jumper." He smiled. "It just might work." "Thank you, Mother Earth." Mouse hurried back to join his friends. The next time it was his turn to receive the ball, he jumped high into the air to catch it. He grabbed onto the ball with his whole body and wrapped his slender arms and legs around it. He hugged on tightly with his tiny hands and went flying through the air. All the animals gasped. No one, not even Tall Bear or Fast Coyote, could catch him. Both Raccoon and Possum tried to catch the ball like Mouse, but they just fell on the ground. Now Mouse was better at playing football than Raccoon and Possum. Soon he was better than Bear and Coyote. All the animals agreed that he was the best football player of all. What happened next truly amazed the animals. They say that one day Mouse jumped up to catch the ball and missed. In fact, he flew right over the ball and high into the sky. "Look, everyone," he said, "I'm flying." "Yes," Mother Earth whispered, "you can fly because you are no longer a mouse. You have a new name, and from now on, you shall be called Bat." And that is how Bat learned to fly. All right, first graders, now we are going to go through some vocabulary that might be new to you in this story. The first one we have is roamed. In the beginning of the story, it says, "They roamed through the forest gathering food." Roamed means to wander. So in this sentence, they were wandering through the forest, looking everywhere for food. The next one we have is sparkling. The sentence in the story is, "They swam and fished in a sparkling lake." So in this sentence, They're talking about how the water is shining and reflecting from the sun in the lake. So the lake is sparkling. The next one we have is misty. The sentence we have is one misty morning, when it was too early to swim or fish, the animals invented a new game. So misty in this sense is in the morning, it was a little bit hard to see. There was a little bit of kind of like fog in the morning. So it's trying to tell us that it was very early. Our next word we have is promised. Mouse promised himself that he would never play football again. So when a promise is when you say something to someone and you say you're going to do it 100%, no matter what, it's going to happen. So Mouse is telling himself that he's never going to play football again, and he really believes it. We also have receive. The next time it was his turn to receive the ball, he jumped high into the air to catch it. So in received is to get. So in this sentence, he is getting the ball. So he is jumping in the air to get the ball. Lastly, we have slender. He grabbed onto the ball with his whole body and wrapped his slender arms and legs around it. Slender means skinny or small. So it's saying he has small arms that are able to reach around the ball. If they were big and bulky, it would be harder to reach around the ball. And now I have a couple listening comprehension questions that I want you to discuss with your parents. The first one is, what problem does Mouse have? So think about the story in the beginning where Mouse started to try football, and what was his problem? Why was he having a hard time playing football? The next question I want you to ask or discuss with your parents is how would you describe Mother Earth? So Mother Earth was the one that helped Mouse come to Mother Earth helped Mouse figure out a solution to his problem. So think about words that describe her character. Was she helpful? Was she kind? Think about her personality. And lastly, we have, why is the story called How Bat Learned to Fly? So listening to the story mostly talks about a mouse. I want you to think about where in the story it answers the question, how Bat learned to fly, and think about why that might be the title. Thank you, first graders.